likes already now forever. Good morning, Miss Simply, Miss Simply, or 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 simply day. Questa nostra Lynch, it's March 23rd, so really only today, so the end is March 6, 2026, and it's a Monday evening, so yeah, sorry, but I'm honest, I lost all the videos that I filmed just before, because now are 17 p.m. So for problem I had with the phone, I lost all the video I filmed 5 hours ago, and so now I'm filming once again whatever to do. So now also I can show you the sun from the sky from the window, but pratically easy to do that. It was a midday, or as soon as afternoon for me that was not very useful. It's a practically it's equivalent to variable. When an adjective that means fact it will have sun or clearly alternative with 2 plus, in fact it was the case of today. In fact yes, what is the case of today, and it was when I filmed really the weather was where it also had there was a wind cold, no heavy considered heavy, but was cold and heavy, but the middle also was very still right now, but the weather was this one, and they were 13 and 20, I think it's if it's 25 14, so this was, and this means that was really in general really really soft creative videos, because soft is classical adjective used for the also for the spring period since first with the parts of flexible, and so consider fact that child and 4 years last June 17 to work and for years with the parts of last parts autumn last parts winter particularly early winter in 71 and 14 at 16 and 14 p.m. in Italy. Now also for the spring work camminate sono pratico 2 days ago, and in Italy particular at 10 and 1 a.m. So perhaps for me I think poi sono buoni cioè espositi I'm sure that Tracy 2005 society sometimes my proposal for contribution to change better perhaps for to me, and in the interrogation for the summer gli aggettivi hot, for the autumn gli aggettivi soft, gli aggettivi soft, for winter gli aggettivi cold sono stati in genere for the season be sapesca dice a sigare di grisa attenzione mi sta figurata assolutamente complete better nel senso sì tra infinite di spingo si mi dà ma si circoli se la stessa but not for me. In fact, I don't know if it's pure for think they feel cool, for think yeah or not, and we see when on them I think that they feel cool, or in general in some way for me so in stile, but it's got to situation jet we I don't know if I can say something just so it's good not to talk with if I can be as a few things. Ingeri di altri, non c'è che tra perché sono si for sì, si sente fare 14 Celsius, but ripeto in questo set ci vede. Si utilizza. Le cortine sono se corteggiate inventando ci siamo stati perché si può fare questo trasmettere Sky, Robert the Rose, Mrs. Sky, was repeat in the sky, and if better si mostrerà then in fact considering the last day, considering or according to what I read, considering my sensational things, yes, practically think it's also not so sure that later it happened it became darker, bleaker. No, better not perché si exaggerate, but see totally cloudy, and also it met in front of a few months, I think from it to April, let's see what happens. حتى سويس إنهم سمعت من جيان سويت سويس نفسي لكن مسكين بدي كيا سو band quella molto quella band su sì insomma mi dico quindi trovate portini fra si portini sta stanno qua portini se non su borsi di breve spartico tra bette non forse no e si usa il biso che portini biso bette invece att to deep non da passo fac von der String portini e nulla things in mette si read una come section it is the point that the first one the first one or name the comment section when you can see that the well von shit and me choose it well now I'm in another room because the other room can't go in the other room uscire sì uscire mi metto nella shot perché shot sì this first part of the video which you should do the scat change from the classic video quindi classic room se persona non so amico quindi amico room more for a broad perspective also my sense per shot in the classic shot from Monday to Thursday from 2016 November 1 2022 yes should be on the show if not should be on the show and vorrei scusarmi vedevo che l'ultimo mi aspetta invece non posso fare questo ultimo sta forza Carlo tra me stati sulle Carlo stile come me c'è un mondo che non c'è gito era così si shot solito effect of from this crescita non so come si ma quando si per che si meglio adesso è lì set picture senza si per scusarmi bit bisogna cortino più per adesso così che professore stiamo sta forza corti mentre che stati now I'll say lì tozzo mi sono routine of the also identity for this important so might be the expression is for fact so identity speech sensitivity but also always better visible for me it's sensitivity in this shot sequence me conjunction branches si guarda riuscite attivismo oppure attivismo ma also di sé si volete si vede il spiccio senza fortuna sessuale verso vita servito one same but also and always better visible for me it's sentire in certi situazioni mi piace fare anche mamma col kibo Agix infatti PG scherzo di fare also in case mi piace cosa fanno? Riuscite a fare finito il giorno 24, magari ti sono salvo su bordo ma colonto che è più pesato it the birthday and insieme magari ti fai dedicated a swim fai il prova critica gli esteri su uso di so much strange parlamenti fa che scuso di uso dedicated di servizio interpretation ma strange basicamente tenenti birthday also mislinced birthday su all of them and it's a track just intro for the full version is make a bonus chance when the first one was recommended me capitalization the second I guess I was seeing an easy shot to shot you can see a core condition would give a better actor condition since sembra sia contato di forza fact since 3 pratically is mean problem factor is not in display ma to solve the problem better not the problem but mean problem is factor is not in display and adesso sono le tampe fixate era questi le people facevano poi queste che tu non so bene vista il frasso perché infatti io poi ho la mangretta back dates vabbè sì was late in general also from us fact when I late many from us and if the tanta magari se mi that's the to have like the topic for stand late generally people for ball for my but not to for my so adesso che non sto posso ormai breakfast spettessi between example generally so favorable better lessons favorable less policy since the moment new practice lessons that speaking once again to next example generally het is inderdaad zit maar tempo only process is very good regular is sembra zit su questa effect back finite si mette statuita finite parte denk ik finite in parte mette su finché regole si cosa metti su sta ragione attribuito cosa si carriera tutto sommato Maximiliano one of the successful they are just only better they were just only 13 and 20 minutes that liberating which is that in some way also be important to so Nambian and as we always say breakfast nostro for solo Sonia is no better scientific mormania also so sconto in effect of the Xeriso or for reason la click so new at this point now new reason for also in quick about breakfast but talk about the reason and the new user says Xeriso nostro reports the beautiful blue dark blue and white for the girls it was really good one the first one was blue white in this case light blue white and for another aspects first one is a story report and as I the time I think I've been using it in week for 16 15 for the or for the over one of them so these are things that probably significant in particular phrase of the word think body I think nobody better no one was which in a movie of the report but yes this should be a divino but the two at one year and as on that what we see the speech should do the suffering for short ho bisogno di giocare tutto come tormento non so fare bisco sta mi fai come su quello bisco sia se think che one bit to the second ciò che ci puoi così ora Google ci ciò che ci così hai fatto tutti questo message ma ti particolare tu mi stai volendo di questo non si può mica fare shot non li che si può fare ma tu scrivi ciò che fai usare first chat fare argomenti video shot e la shot ne mi sta ma non è si chiede allo sto conto ci viene sta di video sono in ci potete su cosa male quick ti finisce analisi once in ability to once in anni in 1 2 3 4 days pratica il risalto l'esame di sinistra ma non fa vincere before e vedi sciogli in animazione per essere nelle soluzioni si chiede allo sconto ci viene di 7 milo sono tanti 54 insomma senza 7.3 batte in certi ditti once in mix per il news Un'easy also making the backwards. Questa bomba se dobbiamo partire mega bomba, ne fusi che si ispira giù, tu batte mora mania so forse mi fico tutto stampo, capito? Finziamo lo sfanzi tu ne backwards, questo mega bomba. Secondo che spazio è un'infra più si sta tra cona di tanzia. Se sempre più ma o se segue di parte fisica più già, sempre più cosa. Attraverso questa posizione militare pam dal charge business. Fa cosa? A tu come tu, because è super bar. Anzi, tomorrow suppose fantastic. I don't tomorrow to lab. Now I see.